Good evening, guys, and happy Thursday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, I just gotta put my pajamas on. I'm ready for bed. I took a shower earlier today because I'll let you guys know everything we got done for today, in spite of my parents not being here. I guess sort of a little bit, but we got a bunch of stuff done outside, so I ended up taking a shower when we were done, and then ended up I just brushed my teeth actually right now, and so I just need to put my pajamas on and I am ready for bed. So but today me and Jack both ended up waking up a little late because we went to bed kind of late last night. So we woke up late today. Like earlier today, Jack was like, I'm probably gonna try and go to bed earlier today because I don't want to stay up that late again and wake up that late. And so then this afternoon, it was funny because, well, when I started getting tired, I ended up saying, I think I'm gonna probably go to bed soon. And Jack's like, yeah, I think I am too. So we didn't end up staying up quite as late, I guess, as yesterday night. But today, like I said, we got up, we ended up having breakfast, and then ended up going and Jack ended up weed whacking the backyard. And originally he was weed whacking it. It wasn't really working that well. We realized that it was probably actually from it's like automatic in the string trimmer, like the string comes out like automatically, but you have to kind of like hit it, like tap it, like the like base parts kind of, and then it comes out and it automatically cuts it too. Like the side has like a little cutter thingy on it, so you don't have to worry about it getting like too long or anything. But like because it comes out on its own, you don't have to do anything to it. But like my dad was saying, so that's when he ended up doing the back lawn, and then he was like, it just seems like it's really like not cutting really well. And so my dad was explaining, like, you just kind of have to like tap the top of it, like, or like the base of it, and then it kind of just comes out on its own. And so he ended up doing that and then did a much better job, I think, in the front yard, and then he also did along the driveway. So he ended up, like I said, getting that done for today, but he ended up doing the back lawn. And then while he was out there, well, actually before that too, even, we ended up taking the dogs out, and we had Christmas lights on the back porch. We ended up taking all those down because I don't know why they were out there for so long, and we ended up kind of clearing off the deck of everything that shouldn't be out there. There were two things that were outside though that I'm not sure why they were and why they were just out there that were normally, I think, in the house, but one of them was like a little basket that had a plant in it that my mom transplanted into a bigger plant, and then it had two like the water dish kind of things. So I don't know if that was meant to be intended to be kept with like the planting stuff out in the garage, or if she was just getting rid of it. And then also too, there was a little stool, which I don't know if she was using outside or like what, but it was a stool that was normally inside, so I have no clue. So those were the only two things I didn't know about. And then there's just like, there's other like decorative stuff that's on the deck, and it's just kind of like cluttered up right now, like in like the corner, because in the long run I'm gonna take probably, hopefully maybe this weekend, or at some point maybe during the week, is just take the stuff off the deck and power wash the deck. I'm not gonna do like the whole top and everything like that. I did that I think 2 years ago, and honestly it still looks pretty much fine. I don't think I need to do quite as much detail as I did that 1 year, but the bottom, like the main part of the deck, like the floorboard kind of stuff, that does need to be like, just because dirt running, the dogs running on it, us walking on it, you know, all summer and stuff like that, and then all through the winter and it just getting dirty and whatever, it just needs to be, you know, like cleaned off. So normally I end up doing that like in the spring every year, and so I'm going to try and do that, like I said, at some point, but probably once my parents get back. So we ended up doing that. We took that stuff down. We ended up, Jack weed whacked. I ended up then going through and weeded the 2 flower beds that were in the backyard, which was not very much. Those ones normally are not, and they're not very difficult, and they are decently mature too, so there's normally not a lot of stuff that's in them. The only problem is that what I'm having is, in one of them especially, the grass is coming into the bed really badly. The other one, there's a lot of creeping Charlie, but creeping Charlie is a lot easier to pull out than grass, and so that's why it's getting into the flower bed too, but I have an easier time pulling it out. And I partially did both of the beds like halfway when we were out there earlier in the week, because I was trying to figure out how easy this stuff was to pull out, and it was actually very easy to pull out. And like, just that's when I realized too that most of the stuff that I thought was in the bed wasn't. It was actually just on the edge where Jack needed to weed whack. So he ended up, like I said, he did that front yard, backyard, and the driveway, and the side yard too, with the vegetable garden, like the raised beds along that stuff. And then I didn't really check to see how well he did that, but the backyard looks really nice. And also to my mom's lilac bush that we got her 2 or 3 Mother's Days ago, is blooming right now, and it actually looks nice. Like, it's actually like kind of bush sized right now, like, whereas like last year it looked like a tiny little, like, you'd mistake it for like just a regular little plant almost. It actually is kind of like much fuller sized, which is really cute. So it's like maybe about 2, maybe 3 feet tall at most, but it has really nice big kind of like lilac flowers on it right now. We used to have 2, and then one of them I think we dug out because it was dead when we like first moved into the house. The other one was like along our driveway, but it was actually kind of like more in our neighbor's like yard side of the driveway, and I think at some point they ended up taking that out. And so my mom really wanted a lilac bush, and so we ended up getting that, and it's, like I said, really cute and like in the spot that it is. But like with the yard all like weed whacked and like the lawns mowed, and like all the flower beds too have all been like, you know, because it's been weed whacked around there too, they're very defined and you can see them well, and there's no weeds in the, you know, garden beds and all that kind of stuff. The backyard is just like popping right now, like all the colors, and like, you know, because we still have like the what's it called, like the mulch down, the red mulch from last year, so like it's a lot of color in the backyard too, plus that we have crocuses that are blooming. There's these really pretty like blue kind of purpley crocuses that are in the backyard that I think my mom got last year, and I thought I planted them on both sides of the bush, but they're only on like one side. And then the columbine's blooming on the other side, and then there's also clematis, but I don't think that's blooming right now. My mom was like, oh look, it's blooming, and I think she meant the columbine, not the clematis. But like I said, the crocuses are, and also too there were yellow crocuses that are mixed in with the blue ones now, but the blue ones are so much taller. They're like crazy tall. So anyways, the like whole yard though just looks really nice, like the colors and all that kind of stuff, and it just looks like very cute in the backyard. So we have all that going. But we ended up doing that. We also ended up, there were 3 like doormats kind of in the front that were from spring, and one was still from Christmas that was out there. I took care of all those, put them in the bin that we have with our other ones in the garage, and switched out for like the summer one, the watermelon one, which you probably could have still left like the spring ones out, but it's kind of getting to that point. Like, I kind of consider Memorial Day to be like the start of summer, so I switched out for the summer one, which is a little watermelon. And then we also ended up I filled up the other bird suets in the backyard, because I filled up the bird feeders in the back yesterday, and then I did the front yard. The only thing I didn't do was the thistle feeder. I want to do that tomorrow, and then also to the hummingbird feeders. I want to wash all those out and hang them up tomorrow as well. And then I also ended up though filling up our platform feeder for the birds as well, and put like we have like dried mealworms and peanuts and like bigger stuff for the bigger birds. Like, I'm hoping to get our blue jay back this year, so I ended up doing that. But like, I ended up filling that stuff up and doing all that. Jack ended up, like I said, he finished weed whacking, then I finished pulling all the weeds out of the flower beds. And then after that, I ended up taking our leaf blower and blew all of the grass that was kind of like, you know, came into the beds from Jack weed whacking or from me pulling stuff out. I just blew all that stuff out of the garden beds, off the deck, off our paver stones, like all that kind of stuff. So like I said, that's why I'm saying like the yard looks very defined, because there's not like, it doesn't look like we just left a mess kind of everywhere. The only thing is that a lot of the weeds I pulled out are in the lawn, so Jack's going going to scoop that stuff up tomorrow. Like I said, we're also going to get those bird feeders, the hummingbird feeders, hopefully taken care of tomorrow as well. But I had a little list of a couple of things I wanted to do tomorrow, but the stuff we got done today also was really awesome. So and like on top of that too, we ended up, so there was also in the backyard on the back porch a handful of like dog blankets that we'd left out there to kind of just air out because some of them kind of smelled, and so smelled like dog. So I ended up washing all of that stuff today, and washed it, and then I also did a load of like regular laundry also. So I did that. I also did dishes while I was making dinner. We and Jack ended up having mac and cheese, and then I'm trying to think what else. Like I said, we got to a handful of things today, but like in a pretty like good amount of stuff too. Like a lot of times, most of those kind of things that, like, you know, again, weed whacking and leaf blowing, like, you know, that kind of stuff is normally like involves my dad. And so like the fact that me and Jack just ended up doing it, we didn't need to involve him at all. And like I said, the backyard just looks very pretty right now because it looks very like manicured, and again too, like just the weed whacking all done around the fence line and like all that kind of stuff. It just looks very nice, and it's like we put a lot of work into it. And again too, we didn't take a ton of time today doing it. I'd say maybe 2 to 3 hours, but again, like it was all worth it to do all of that. So we ended up, like I said, getting to a whole ton of yard work stuff today, which was awesome. And because today too was only a high of like 67 or 68 maybe, I don't think it actually broke 70 today, so it's fairly chilly out. So it was actually kind of the perfect temperature to work outside, because I don't think either of us really ended up breaking a sweat outside. It was just when I came in, I ended up taking a shower because I was covered in dirt, and when I was using the leaf blower too, I was trying to blow some of the stuff out of the garage because like some of it got in like the doorway, so I was like trying to blow some of the stuff out there. There was like dirt though all like right near the front of the door, so when I went to go blow it, there was just a ton of dirt that ended up sweeping up. It was all over me, and I was like, this is gross, I need to take a shower. So like I said, I ended up doing that, but it was actually a very nice, beautiful day to work outside because it was very, like I said, cool outside. So that was, like I said, awesome that we got a ton of outside yard work stuff done, and like having the garden beds done too and like kind of weeded through. Most likely I won't really need to do that. Like I've gotten, especially the back ones seem very good compared to the front ones are not as good. I don't know why. Those ones are much tougher to keep weeded, but especially the one in the middle seems very bad. And I think probably too because a lot of times like just anything kind of blows in from like the lawn, and so that it seems like it's a lot worse, and it's easier for stuff to get into it. The other ones are up against the deck and like the garage, so there's only kind of like, they can only come in kind of from one side if anything ends up, you know, kind of weeding its way into there, versus in the front flower bed, it's just in the middle of the lawn, and so it has, I think, it's a lot more susceptible to getting a lot more weeds in it, and it, like I said, it just seems like that happens a lot more often with that flower bed than the other ones. It's also probably the biggest one that we have, so that's also probably why too. But in addition to all of that, like I said, we got, you know, a ton of stuff done, and we have a small list of things that we want to try and get done tomorrow. But like my arms feel sore, and my neck is kind of like feels sore too, so I was like probably not gonna get as much done as we did today, but having that done is awesome, because like the other thing is too is my parents will be coming back on Sunday, and so then to celebrate like Memorial Day, my dad's birthday, on Monday and Tuesday, like we don't really have that much time to like get anything done to make anything like look nice in the backyard. So like that's why too, me and Jack were actually going to hang up our bistro lights, but I think they're in the rafters in the garage, and to be honest, I don't know where they are exactly, and I don't really want to get the ladder out and be rooting around up there to try and find them. So I'll let my dad handle that when he gets back home. But like we were again trying to get like the backyard kind of set up for like summer now, and we, you know, again, this was a major step in it. It's just again setting some of that stuff up, and like I want to power wash the deck though, probably maybe before we hang that. I think they'll be okay though, but like hanging that stuff up, or also putting up our cabana curtains, like that kind of stuff. I don't really want to get to that until like after we power wash the deck. I might wait until my dad gets back for that, just because I'm the one that normally power washes anyway. I just don't know entirely how to set it up. So that's why I'd like to have him help set it up, hopefully, because like I said, I'm not entirely sure. I know how to use it, and like I said, I'm the one that I power washed the deck the last 2 years that we've had the power washer, but you know, like I said, I'm not really entirely sure. I know like where the water, like to what's it called, have the hose go, but like even to like running the extension cord, I think I know where the extension cords are in the garage. Like, it's funny, I found the leaf blower. It wasn't actually where all of the rest of like the stuff is, and I just saw the leaf blower. And it's funny too, we have 3 leaf blowers. 2 of them are next to each other. The one I was looking for, that is like the cordless one, was on the other side of the garage, and I was like, what is it doing here? So I found it though. I got that done. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff done today, which I was very, very happy about, and for just the 2 of us being here, but also too to kind of, you know, show my parents we can get stuff done without them being here. We don't you know, we don't need them to get some of this stuff done. Like, one of the other things that I'd like to try and get done is, you know, we, again too, me and Jack alone can't get to a lot of like the upstairs reno projects really on our own as well. But one of the things that we can do is that we need to move some of the stuff that's in the new closet cubby area that's going to be actually my dad's like closet slash office space. We need to move some of that stuff, and so we're going to move the insulation that we had in the attic. There were rolls of it, and we're going to move that and probably move the boxes, the totes that we have over into that spot. So that's like something that me and Jack could do, and we might do it again too when my parents aren't here, just because I don't know, it just seems like, well, you know, again, while they're gone, it's like there's less stuff to get messed up too, because there's less people here. So it just seems like there's less things to stay on top of. Like, I don't have as much laundry I need to do right now, or as many dishes that I need to wash, or, you know, like any of that kind of stuff. There's not like extra things. Also too, I'm not being asked like, oh, should we go and do this, or let's, you know, go and, you know, like get this thing done, or, you know, get whatever it is. It's like, since they're not here, it's almost like I feel more responsible like getting things done and that kind of stuff, but also not as distracted by being like, oh, you want to come and watch a movie, or, you know, oh, you want to go and, you know, go and run this errand with me or whatever. It's like me and Jack are just here, so it's like, you know, and we're just kind of, again, stuck here right now because we don't have a car either. So we're like, yeah, let's just go and do that in the backyard. Let's just go and get this stuff done. I've been staying on top of, you know, everything in addition to getting extra stuff done. And like too, there was one bag of like garbage stuff that was upstairs. Like we had like some loose insulation and like that kind of stuff that was upstairs that was in a bag, but we were waiting to throw it away. And so right now, actually, tonight, because it's garbage day, which we remembered to put the garbage and recycling out on the street. I told you guys that was one thing I wanted to write down to remember, but we did, and we ended up taking that. Jack took it out to the street, but there was extra room in the garbage can, so I was like, why don't you take that bag from upstairs, get that out of there, and go and put it in the garbage can since we had extra room. Since my parents aren't here too right now, and like Matthew, like for most of this week, like, I mean, I guess it's only been 2 days, but we just didn't like we don't have as many garbage bags right now, and so I was like, why don't you just put that extra one in the garbage can, you know, and so we can get that out of there. And so again, it's just like those extra little things too that, you know, again, we were just trying to handle and take care of, and, you know, get that stuff done. And there was the like tote of bird seed was actually on the back deck. I was like, oh, Jack, can you move that to the garage? He actually went outside and worked out in the garage too. He ended up running on the treadmill out in the garage. So like, I don't know, it's just when nobody else is here, like, I feel like me and Jack have just been more like inclined to do things. It's like, I don't know, when everybody else is here, it's like we're lazier. And like, I think I'm feeling that as well as he is, because again too, he's doing extra things. Like, he hasn't worked out since he's been out of school, and all of a sudden now my parents are gone, he's like, I think I'm gonna go and work out in the garage, you know, like that kind of stuff. You know, again, the same thing too with like us getting all the yard work done. Like, I don't know, we take on like a whole new sense of responsibility when they're not here to you know, like, I think you kind of assume too, like, oh, somebody else will take care of that, like, oh, you know, whatever. But like, when you're kind of like one of only 2 people home, especially again too when it's like 5 people living in one house and you're one of only 2 people. It's like you have a little more responsibility, or maybe more sense of responsibility to like get things done or make sure things to get done, because it's either on you or the one other person. So like you said, you know, like that kind of stuff, we've been, you know, getting this stuff done. But then again too, because of this weekend and where this weekend falls, and you know, like too, like my dad's birthday, and you know, normally Memorial Day weekend we do stuff outside, but my parents won't be home until Sunday. So it's like, well, those 2 days then on Monday and Tuesday when they are, you know, going to be home, you know, like let's try and utilize the space outside. And we can't do that if we have to clean the entire thing. So me and Jack can do that while we're here, because again, we're here. So why not? But anyways, I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see you all very soon, shiny pieces tomorrow. So bye guys.